You are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the show for fans of football who want to improve their English. My name is Damien and I am based in London, where the weather has got a lot cooler this week, thankfully. How is the weather where you are? And I wonder how the weather is in Tokyo, Japan, where, of course, the other member of the Learn English Through Football team, Damon, is based. Now, before we move on to talk about some football language, we'd like to let you know that we have been making some changes to our site. We are now known as learningenglishthroughfootball.com, as we have changed our domain name, which means we are no longer using languagecaster.com. We thought it might be a good idea to have a name that better reflects what we do, learning English through football. But don't worry, you can still find us even if you still click on the old name, and you will still hear and see LanguageCaster on some parts of our site and on our podcast, including this stinger.
Hi, my name's Izzy. I'm a fan of Dulwich Hamlets FC, and you're listening to languagecaster.com.
Right, you just heard from a Dulwich Hamlet fan. They are a non-league team here in London, and we will be hearing from more football fans throughout the show, many of them in different languages. Try and see if you can recognize what some of these languages are. Don't worry if you don't know them, we'll give you the answers at the end of the show. And of course, it would be great if you could send us a message in your own language. Just tell us you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast in any language that you know. Right, here's another stinger for you, and I will give you a clue. This language is spoken in Europe, and their football season kicks off or starts this weekend.
Sie hören gerade languagecaster.com.
Right, the football season in many European countries has already started. So, for example, England and Spain started last week, while Scotland, Portugal, the Netherlands and Turkey all started before that. And more leagues are starting this weekend. So, in this week's Football Language podcast, we will look at two phrases that are commonly used to describe the start of the season: kick off and get underway. Okay, let's start with a common football phrase, kick off, which means to start something like a match or a tournament or a season. So, for example, the game kicked off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. The game started at 3 o'clock. We also use this phrase to describe the action of starting the game. A player stands near the ball in the centre of the pitch or in the centre circle and kicks the ball to start the game. This is the kickoff. So Spurs kicked off the first half, for example. But we can also use this phrase to describe the start of a season. So the Premier League season kicked off on August the 16th. The new season started then. My favourite team, Tottenham, kicked off their season with a game against Burnley. This was their first game of the season. Here are a few more examples with kick off the season. Number 1, Leeds kicked their season off with a home win against Everton. Number 2, Liverpool kicked off their season by beating Bournemouth 4-2 on Friday night. Can you see the difference in the position of the noun the season? In the first example, it comes between kick and off, kicked their season off. While in the second example, it appears after the word off, kicked off their season. Sometimes a phrasal verb, that's a verb and another particle or word does this with a direct object, and we have posted a link from the BBC with some more examples and explanations here on our site.
Vous écoutez languagecaster.com.
Underway. Another word that we use to describe the start of the season is underway, which is often used with the verb to get underway. So we can say that La Liga got underway last weekend. The Spanish league started their new season last weekend. It got underway. Similar to kick off, we can also use it to describe the start of the game. So the game is underway means that the game has just started or kicked off. Or we can also use it to describe something that happened in the game itself. So, for example, the player got his Tottenham career underway with 2 assists, which means that the new player, Mohamed Kudus in this example, had 2 assists in his first game for his new club. Now, when will your favourite team's season get underway? Or when did the season already get underway?
皆さんは languagecaster.com を聞いています。
Okay, now it's time for predictions, and this week we are going to look at the Premier League game between Newcastle United and champions Liverpool. Listen out for some of the phrases that we use when predicting football matches. Now, this game will take place on Monday night here in England, and it promises to be a really interesting one. It's the first home match for Newcastle. The game will be played under floodlights, always good for atmosphere. It's also a game against the holders. And there is also some transfer controversy between the two clubs. Newcastle star striker Alexander Isak is trying to force a move to Liverpool by refusing to train with his club Newcastle, and this has left a lot of bad feeling. Now, how about the game? Well, I think that Liverpool are favourites going into this game, but with the transfer story or transfer saga, which is what we use when the story goes on for such a long time, I think Newcastle will raise their game and make it difficult for the Reds. I think it might be a 2-2 draw. Yeah, it will end in a 2-2 draw. So, did you hear some of the phrases for predicting that we used? Number 1, I think it might be a 2-2 draw. Number 2, yes, it will end in a 2-2 draw. The first one doesn't sound as confident as the second one. Will is a little more confident than might. So think about this when you're making your own predictions. How about practicing your predictions language with us? What do you think will happen in this game? Let us know by coming along to our site and leaving a comment below the post or on our forum. It's a really good way to practice some of your writing. You can also practice some speaking by leaving a voice note as well, and we'll be happy to give you some feedback on this.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
Right, remember you can contact us if you have any questions about the language of football or if you have some feedback on our podcast. Check out our website, remember, learnenglishthroughfootball.com, and explore our football language forum where you can ask and maybe answer some questions about all kinds of football language. We've got some new material there now too. Don't forget there is also our huge glossary of football terms with hundreds of expressions, phrases and cliches all about the beautiful game. Now there are also more explanations and examples of some of the football language we have used in today's show, and it's here on our post at learnenglishthroughfootball.com. There's even a quiz to help you review some of the language.
Bạn đang nghe languagecaster.com.
Yes, you are listening to Languagecaster, or as we are now known, the Learn English Through Football podcast. and that message or stinger was in Vietnamese. How about the other ones? Did you guess the languages? We started off with German, and then we heard French, Japanese, and Italian. Well done if you recognize any of those. And of course, if you'd like to send on another stinger in your own language, we'd love to hear from you. Remember, you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast in any language that you know.
G'day, my name is Erin. I'm from Brisbane and I'm a West Ham supporter, and you're listening to languagecaster.com.
Yes, that was from a West Ham fan. And unfortunately, they got their season underway with a defeat at newly promoted Sunderland last weekend. Not the best start to the season at all. The Bundesliga in Germany and Serie A in Italy both kick off or get underway this weekend. I wonder which teams will win the title in those countries this season. Do you support any team from those leagues? Right, let us know if you hear or see any of the phrases that we have talked about on this week's show, including get underway and kick off the season. And maybe listen out for some language for predictions. So it will end in a 2-2 draw. It might end in a 2-2 draw. Enjoy all the football this weekend. And we'll be back on Monday with another weekly football expression from the weekend's matches. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.